I remember the exact moment everything became clear. It was late at night. The room was quiet, but my mind wasn't. I sat on the edge of my bed, staring at my phone like it held all the answers. Waiting, hoping, refreshing, checking again and again and again. But nothing came. No message, no call, no sign that I even crossed her mind. Hours passed, but it didn't feel like time was moving. It felt like I was stuck trapped in my own thoughts, replaying every conversation we ever had, every word, every pause, every moment. What did I do wrong? Did I say too much? Was I not enough? I convinced myself that if I could just figure it out, if I could just fix whatever went wrong, maybe things would go back to how they were. Maybe she would choose me. But deep down, there was a truth I didn't want to face. I had given away my power. Somewhere along the way, I stopped seeing myself as enough on my own. I started measuring my worth based on her attention, her replies, her presence. And when those things disappeared, so did my sense of self. Her silence didn't just hurt, it made me feel invincible, like I didn't matter. And instead of stepping back, I leaned in harder. I sent another message, then another. I told myself I was just being honest, but in reality, I was chasing reassurance. I was chasing validation. I checked her social media constantly, looking for clues. Who she followed, who she liked, when she was online. It was exhausting. And the worst part, the more I tried to hold on, the more I felt like I was losing myself. Looking back now, I realized something important. It was never just about her. It went deeper than that. It was about an old pattern, a quiet fear I had carried for years. The fear of not being enough unless someone chooses me. Every time I reached for her attention, I wasn't just trying to connect with her. I was trying to prove my value. I believed that if she stayed, it meant I was worthy. If she left, it meant something was wrong with me. So I held on. But to the idea that she could feel something inside me that I didn't know how to feel on my own. Then came the moment that changed everything. It was a Sunday afternoon when she finally called. For a second, I felt relieved. My heart raced. I thought maybe, just maybe, this was the moment everything would turn around. But it wasn't. She told me she wasn't ready for a relationship. Her voice was calm, almost distant, like she had already moved on emotionally, whilst I was still holding on to hope. And in that moment, everything inside me wanted to react. I wanted to argue, to explain, to convince her that we could work. I wanted to fight for something that was already slipping away. But then, something unexpected happened. For the first time, I saw things clearly. You can't force someone to choose you. You can't convince someone to feel what they don't feel. And no matter how much you give, it will never be enough for the wrong person. That realization hit hard, but it also set me free. So instead of chasing, I did something different. I let go. I didn't beg. I didn't try to change her mind. I didn't lower myself just to keep her. I simply said, okay, I wish you the best. And I meant it. Not because it didn't hurt, but because I finally understood that holding on was hurting me more. Letting go wasn't easy. In fact, it was one of the hardest things I have ever done. Because letting go didn't just mean losing her. It meant facing myself. The silence I used to run from, the loneliness I tried to avoid, the thought I kept distracting myself from. But you know what? That first week was so unbearable. I wanted to test her so many times. I kept checking my phone out of habit. I questioned if I had made the right decision. But every time I stopped myself from going back, something inside me grew stronger. Just a little, then a little more. And slowly, things began to change. The emptiness I once felt started to fade. Not because someone new came into my life, but because I started showing up for myself. I began doing things I had neglected. I went on long walks without checking my phone. I started writing my thoughts instead of suppressing them. I reconnected with people I had pushed aside while I was consumed by one person. And for the first time in a long time, I felt peace. Then something unexpected happened. The more I detached, the more confident I became. The less I needed validation, the more natural my energy felt. Opportunities started appearing in areas of my life I had ignored. My creativity came back. My focus improved. Even my presence changed. People could feel it. And in dating, everything shifted. I was no longer trying to impress or to be chosen. I was simply being myself. And somehow, that made me more attractive than ever before. That's when I truly understood what detachment actually means. Detachment isn't about pretending you don't care. It's not about becoming cold or distant. It's about caring without losing yourself. It's about loving without depending. It's about giving without expecting someone else to complete you. There are two ways people love. One comes from fear. The other comes from freedom. And when you love from fear, you chase, you overthink, you try to control outcomes. You depend on someone to feel okay. But when you love from freedom, you allow things to flow. You respect yourself enough to walk away. You don't force connection. You remain whole, with or without them. And here's the truth most people don't want to hear. Clinginess doesn't bring people closer. It pushes them away. The more you try to hold on, the more pressure you create. And the more pressure you create, the more they pull away. But when you let go, you create space. And in that space, things either come back naturally or they reveal they were never meant for you. I used to believe that love meant holding on no matter what. Now I understand something deeper. Real love doesn't need to be forced. It doesn't need to be chased. It doesn't need to be proven over and over again. Real love chooses you freely. That experience didn't break me. It built me. It taught me that my worth is not determined by someone's attention. That my value doesn't decrease based on someone's inability to see it. And most importantly, that when someone stops clinging to others for validation, you finally discover what it feels to stand strong on your own.